Welcome back, everyone. I'm Justin. Sorry for the little delay. I'm just getting over a cold. It's why I sound a little bit congested right now, so you have to excuse me. With the massive surge of movies and TV shows finally getting released after all this craziness, it's getting pretty hard to pick and choose what to do videos on. There's just so much stuff, but honestly, that's why I like doing videos on the more obscure shit now. Big changes are coming to my channel, so be on the lookout. But today, I'm ready to dive into my thoughts on episode 4 of Rebel Robin, Surviving Hawkins. I think it goes without saying now that these videos are going to have spoilers in them. I know there's just a lot of you out there who don't have the patience for podcasts. I get it. Nevertheless, that's why I'm here. So chapter 4, Lord of the Flies. This episode starts out with a change of scenery. Back from Thanksgiving break, Robin Buckley is about to catch the bus home from school. Her ass is tempted to walk home too because right when she's about to hop on the bus, she hears people talking shit about her and she's immediately discouraged. Lucky for her though, before she gets on, she spots Mr. Hauser in the parking lot. Surprisingly, these two start talking again. You'd think after the end of episode 3, these two would really ignore each other besides academic stuff, right? Immediately, Robin just falls apart in front of her teacher. Even though she might not say it in these exact words, she's essentially like, "My life is a mess. I miss hanging out with you during free periods. Milton, Dash, and Kate have basically distanced themselves from me. I just think the universe is telling me I'm not supposed to have friends." She just goes on, and I like that because you know what? If y'all haven't been paying attention, before Thanksgiving break, Robin was going to her teacher once or twice a week just talking about her feelings and whatnot, and he was listening, giving her advice. Mr. Hauser is essentially Robin's therapist. Also, we find out Robin gets a job at Hawkins movie theater, which would actually be the same theater from season 1 where Steve Harrington spray paints Nancy the Slut Wheeler on. Getting back to our two main characters, Mr. Hauser calms Robin down and gives her a ride home. Excuse me? No way in hell that would fly. Even when my older brother was in high school in 2005, if a teacher was caught giving a student a ride home, they'd be instantly fired. I mean, maybe because it was 1983, but yeah, that's still weird, dude. So towards the beginning of this car ride, it's super awkward. There's some weird tension and they beat around the bush until they actually get to the important shit. But that's just the thing though, that awkwardness and tension is good because that means the continuity in the show is on point. They could have written it where the two pretend like nothing too eventful happened after the previous heated conversation. Very non-confrontational like, you know? But no, they actually addressed the shit that happened before break and worked through it. Good on them. Next, Robin goes through Mr. Hauser's tape case, Queen, Bowie, and Madonna? I mean, she looks up to him and he's like, "Really? You're a fan?" Mr. Hauser's just like, "I wanted to see what all the fuss was about." So, okay, curiosity and open-mindedness. I dig it. I think that's why Mr. Hauser's such a likable character, because how many of y'all know people who just listen to the same 12 songs over and over again? It's just refreshing to hear about someone who has a different mentality. You guys remember the early 2000s? If y'all were curious about a specific band or artist, people had to buy their music. They just gave more things a chance. Sure, you could listen to a song or two on the radio from a specific artist if they were popular enough, but word of mouth and curiosity is what sold music back in the day. Now everything's just free on Spotify or YouTube with ads. What I'm saying though is it's just crazy to see how times have changed. After listening to Madonna though, Mr. Hauser says he prefers Cyndi Lauper to Robin. I mean, he's got good music taste, I'll give him that. Getting back on track. Robin has been trying to follow Mr. Hauser's advice, focusing on the here and now, as opposed to getting the hell out of Hawkins, you know? And I respect that because if you have dreams and goals, you have to work hard to make them happen. But you still have to stop and enjoy life along the way. I really need to take that advice sometimes. Relax and recharge time is important. Robin then talks about things going away. Marching band is over for the season. Her bike was taken away by her parents. Guess they're still shaken up about the kids disappearing and don't want Robin going anywhere. She gathers her thoughts and reiterates the fact that Hawkins is the reason why she can't thrive. It chews her up and spits her out. She starts questioning if she's the problem though. Maybe she's the one pushing away her friends. She's just a mess. But luckily, whenever Robin seems to be reaching her breaking point, Mr. Hauser's always there to step in. She gets so distraught over all this inner conflict that he has to stop the car and look Robin directly in her eyes and reassure her that she's not broken, that she's her own person and shouldn't need anyone else's validation to confirm that. I'm really happy I got that reality check too recently, hence big changes coming to the channel. It may seem stupid to you guys, but I feel after 4 episodes, this podcast really speaks to me. Robin's struggles and Mr. Hauser's words of wisdom are kind of helping me on my own mental journey, so to speak. So after Mr. Hauser's rousing speech, these two get back on the road and start cracking jokes with one another. They're just happy, and I can't tell if this student-teacher friendship is creepy or wholesome. We do finally get some personal stuff out of Mr. Hauser, though. He's a teenager who grew up in the 70s, which would put him at like mid to late 20s now. He loves Culture Club. And after Robin confronts him again about who was on the phone at the end of episode 3, he just tenses up and says, look, every previous school I've taught at, there's always been someone who didn't want me there. I think Mr. Hauser is hiding the fact that he's gay. I mean, it would make sense. The actor portraying him in real life is too. Just like the first 3 episodes, they make a comparison to a book, this one being The Lord of the Flies. Being stuck on a desert island like the boys were in the novel is definitely how Robin thinks Hawkins is. It's the middle of nowhere to her, and she feels that she's trapped by the monster in town, so to speak. I'm not too familiar with the book, honestly. I never read it. Robin says Steve Harrington is like Jack Merridew, so whatever that means. Guess we'll find out in the next episode, though, because Robin says she'll be back next lunch period with a whole list of character comparisons from the book to the people of Hawkins High. But just as the conversation starts to get interesting, Mr. Hauser pulls onto Robin's street. So overall, a good episode. Robin is just a mess, and I don't know how the teacher has the patience to deal with her all the time. Maybe it helps he's got a comforting voice, or he's getting high in his off hours. Who knows? Timeline-wise, since it's after Thanksgiving break, that would mean it's after 11 and the gang defeated the Demogorgon. Hell, after episode 3 would have taken place after that fact too, if I'm not mistaken. Guessing the government or Dr. Owens from season 2 stepped in with his crew and cleaned up the shit so no one would notice the Hawkins High aftermath. I mean, maybe, I don't know, the details between winter 1983 and fall 1984 when season 2 takes place are a little unclear. I feel like Charlie Day in that meme right now trying to connect all this shit together, you know? Of course I'm gonna recommend this episode to y'all. Every entry in this series so far has been fantastic, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people out there who are struggling mentally. I love the pop culture references in this episode, and Robin threw in her classic dingus line in this one. I mean, what more could you ask for? I'm hype as hell for the last 2 episodes to see you guys then, and as always, thanks for watching.